of Africa, we've been working at the continental level to fabricate more cooperative mechanisms to address evaluation at various levels. We've constructed the Pan-African Parliament as a forum of legislators who demand accountability from our governments. We have also established the African Peer Review Mechanism, a process of thorough assessment of the performance of countries against a set of well-defined criteria. At the country level here in Ghana, we've established a series of monitoring and evaluation processes, both at the level of the presidency and within the National Development Planning Commission, which has the mandate for evaluation. We're therefore delighted to see the emergence of an African evaluation tradition and practice, a body which can begin to help us answer questions not only about our performance, but also about the future. Some of these questions are as follows. Are Africa's optimistic growth projections realistic and sustainable under the threat of emerging global crisis? Is the Arab Spring going to spread to other sub-Saharan African countries? What are the rights and responsibilities of citizens in these times of global change? And who is going to count the reality for Africa's citizens with African lenses and African forms of measurement? These are questions I expect you as evaluators to ponder about and provide some answers to guide our governments on the continent to navigate through the emerging new world.
That was His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, talking about how Africa can use evaluation to its benefit. You know, Africa is the second largest continent in the world, and it also has the second highest population after Asia. We have over 1 billion people. And the Vice President says that we in Africa can use evaluation to advance our development. I'm sure that another logical question that follows is, well, you've really told us what some of the things that we should be doing. But coming from the leadership, it's always a good thing.
Definitely.
And if that's the view of the Vice President, then it makes me happy. Does that in any way tie in with the conference in Accra, in Ghana? Is there a special reason for Ghana?
I think you've pointed out that, I would say, a big step in the process to implement first evaluation in Africa, and also to implement AFREA, and to stand AFREA as a body, a recognized body for evaluation in Africa. I would take 3 and 4 words from what the Vice President was saying. First, he was talking about demand. He was talking about accountability, which is a very, very powerful word for evaluation. He was talking about Africa-driven instead of donor-driven. And he was talking about steps taken by African governments through the AU, the African Union, to go ahead and to advance on satisfying the population needs through accountability. And those are really important words. And we were happy to have His Excellency deliver that speech. Because let's not forget that it's not only African evaluators that are at the conference. There are also international participants, and mostly international from big international organizations that are accompanying AFREA into the exercise. And when I get back to your question, it's why Ghana? First of all, we should know that AFREA, even if it exists for 13 years now, AFREA has already been officially registered in Ghana in 2009, 3 years ago. So to recognize that status and to recognize the acceptance of Ghana, of AFREA to be an official body in Ghana, we at the board, we said, guys, let's honor Ghana. And we were happy that we came in at a time that we have a government, a Ghanaian government, who recognizes evaluation as a powerful tool. And not only that, but we also come to Ghana in a very big time, because you in Ghana will be having elections this year. So that is
December.
Yes, definitely. So that makes Ghana the perfect place to be now for AFREA.
What are you hoping in terms of evaluation to achieve with this conference?
The Vice President has said it. The main theme that we chose for this conference was rights and responsibilities in development evaluation.
Sure.
All the words in that theme are very significant to us. Rights first in development evaluation. Everybody has the right.
Okay.
They're right into it. It's either the population, it's either the government, it's either the parliament, or it's either the donors on their side.
Okay.
Everyone has the right to say in it.
Right.
But on the overall part of the scale,
Yes.
when you have rights, you also have responsibilities.
Right.
So what you're trying to achieve is that behind what we were talking about evaluation, let's all be knowledge that we have rights, we have responsibilities, but then in between, let's say, we're trying to put the human side of evaluation, and we're trying to bring the human side of development
Okay.
through advancing and promoting evaluation.
Okay. Do you find the culture in Africa generally to be in tune with the principles of evaluation, or you think that we have to learn it?
I don't think we have to learn it. From what I know, if I don't say 100%, at least a majority of African communities had traditionally their own way to do evaluation. Of course, it was not always numbers. It was not always surveys. It was not always focus groups. But each one of our communities or societies, they had their own way to do evaluation. So let's not throw that away. It's not because we have modern tools, we have technologies, so that we have to throw away our culture.
Okay.
No, I think we have now, and that's one of the challenges that we're facing now at Africa. How can we value traditional practice in evaluation? How can we mix that up with modern tools so that we can have an African, as the Vice President said, how can we have an African system for evaluation?
Okay.
And that's a big question.
It's a very, very big question. How do we hope to answer that?
I think there's the whole education process behind it. Of course, we've got to learn the techniques of evaluation. There's no question to that.
All right.
But the big question is, how can we educate our populations to ask from our governments, to ask from our parliaments, to go for an evaluation, to buy an evaluation, and to participate in evaluations.
Sure.
And that's, I think, the word participation is very, very powerful in an evaluation.
All right. All right. Is it only to do with our government, or does evaluation also affect our everyday lives, daily activities? Does it affect business, which is all government related and all of that? Or are we just looking at government and its activities when we talk about evaluation?
Yes, you're right. We're too much focused on governments. But evaluation is a tool in everyday life. In everybody. In the house, in the household, evaluation is nice. I mean, the wife and the husband should talk and evaluate what they've been doing to see where should they be going after. In a community, small community, evaluation should have a place. Should have a place on how do we see ourselves? What have we been doing? Was it beneficial for us? How should we take that forward? That's the question. In any, let's say in civil society, even in corporate, evaluation has the place for it to advance. But as we're more focused on country development, then we talk more about government.
Do we need specially trained and educated people to make evaluation possible?
Good question. When I said in the beginning that we have two sides of the work to be followed, I would say there's the demand side of evaluation, and there's the supply side of evaluation. The demand side, we've talked about it, the government, the parliament, the communities, and the populations. That's on the demand side. But on the supply side now, we have to ask our question, do we have the right capacity and competencies to conduct evaluation? Do we need special capacity and competency?
Right.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay.
Even if we have our own traditional ways to do things, there are techniques and modern techniques that we have also to learn in order for us to be accountable and to be trusted by the international community that we're doing the things right. So we need to build African capacity in evaluation. And unfortunately, we have to develop that side. There are a few institutions in Africa that are already delivering trainings, good trainings in evaluation, but they're not enough yet. We have still to push for our universities, we have to push for our special schools to build up courses for evaluation. We have to train good evaluators.
Okay. What kind of courses could people be studying? Are they called evaluation? Is it a master's degree, a first degree, or whatever in evaluation? Or there are programs that people can study that really position them to be able to do evaluation?
Okay, I would say we have two big burdens to face.
Okay.
We don't have enough evaluators in Africa. So there's an immediate need that we should be answering by quick trainings. We need short trainings almost everywhere to train so that we can have a base evaluator community. But then on the long run, we also have to build longer courses. We have to build master degrees in evaluation. And we can even think about PhD degrees in evaluation. Why not? The developed countries have it already. So why not? We can go ahead for that.
Do that. Do you think corruption is a challenge to evaluation in Africa?
You're trying to trick me there, Nee. Yes. Corruption is a big, big blockage to evaluation everywhere in the world. Because corrupt people are afraid of evaluation. Because one of the main characteristics of a good evaluation is to be objective and neutral. And for an evaluation to be objective and neutral, they don't have to be and they should not be manipulated. Corruptors and corrupt people tend always to manipulate things so that it would not show what they're doing.
Absolutely.
So corruption is definitely another way to block evaluation, another way to not promote evaluation.
All right. I have some messages coming in, and there's one interesting one that I think you would like to comment on. Oscar Itia says that evaluation in Ghana must be backed by serious monitoring to put our leaders in order. How do these two concepts go together, evaluation and monitoring?
Monitoring and evaluation are two complementary things. They should not taken apart. Because evaluation is one time thing. It's a snapshot. It's a snapshot in the process. While monitoring is a movie, a film of what we're doing. Which means that monitoring is measuring on a daily basis the progress on what we're doing. While evaluation does an analysis of a timely progress. So monitoring and evaluation, two things that should link together and not separated apart. Yeah, because we cannot, a good monitoring system would help very much in evaluation.
Very important that they go hand in hand. Someone sends a message where he thinks that, basically let me read what he has to say. Prince Adam from Asamankese says, "Ni, when will Anas Aremeyaw Anas go into our ministries to expose these corrupt politicians who are siphoning the poor taxpayers' money?" Basically, Anas Aremeyaw refers to an investigative journalist in Ghana who also has an international dimension. And he basically, recently has gone to Tanzania, etc., Sierra Leone to do timber, Tanzania, cutting of limbs for spiritual purposes, Ghana, exposing corruption at the ports, etc., and all that. And so this person seems to think that he should also go to the ministries to expose those